What's up, guys? How's everyone doing today? It is Thursday, April 16th at 10:30 a.m. here in Sydney, Australia. Getting close. We are getting close to those first fights. The first fight starts from my time in about 36 hours. So we'll get into it. I've given you guys 6 tickets. So for all the VIPs, JSB insiders, all the Patreon boys, go to the YouTube member section, the VIP section. Go to your Patreon and you'll see the 6 tickets. Currently, you guys have a prop of the week at plus 600. I just posted today. You guys have a cheeky mixed double at plus 110. You guys have my big baller. This was requested from all you big bettors. We're calling it a 50% return parlay. It's a 4-legger. You put 10 grand on it, you get 5,000 back, that sort of thing. This is week 1 of this sort of parlay. You guys have my dog of the week. You guys have my long-term parlay. The dog of the week is paying plus 185. The long-term parlay is paying roughly plus 500. And then we also have a sneaky points method of victory parlay that pays plus 110. So those 6, generally, every single ticket you're going to get from me is going to be plus money, except our new weekly 50% parlay. Those are for the guys who like these little short money line tickets mixed together, maybe some heavy favorites, 3 or 4 of them to get a 50% return. It works well with guys with a big bankroll. Okay, moving forward. To join our world famous Johnny Says Boxing Discord, it's not just boxing, it's MMA, basketball, baseball. We know the playoffs are starting. I actually hit NHL. I hit a 2-leg double NHL 2 days ago. Shout out to Ranvar Litter. He's one of our JSB insiders who pushed me over the edge. And then the play-in started yesterday. I hit an NBA double. Shout out to the NBA chat. And I got to get in the Major League Baseball chat. But whichever sport is your favorite, obviously we're a boxing community here. Once you enter the Discord, you'll see it's kind of like a candy store. It's a toy store of adult professional betting, with each channel having, as you read the chat, 1, 2, 3, 4 guys to go to regarding sharps. All right, that link is going to stay pinned in the comment section throughout the entire chat. It's a couple bucks a month, and I'm going to get to it. We're going to stay on as long as you guys want. I'll take specific questions. I want to focus the questions specifically the first half of the live stream on the fights this week. And then maybe after the 30-minute mark, there's some UFC fights. I'm going to give you guys a UFC parlay. Maybe you guys could ask about the long-term parlay. So let's get this started. Pablo Boxing, cheers, man. Appreciate you. Appreciate the support. Guys, whenever you tap into this, whether you're on the live stream or you catch this on the playlist, the Johnny Says Boxing podcast, whenever you catch it, just like the video. What's up, King? King in the house, Patreon boys. What's up? Jay Bama. We'll start here. Let's see if we're getting props. I'm not sure I'm getting props on that fight. Royston, Barney-Smith, RBS. Let's see what Jay has cooking up. My boy Julius cooking up some props. Okay, I'm going to write this down. So whatever props I'm interested in that I wasn't aware of, I'm going to write down, and I'll revisit this because I'll be streaming at least one more time before these fights starts. I want to look at, we could look into this now, actually. So you like Royston by knockout at 94%. RBS, KO, $1.94. Let's see now. Let's see how many rounds the fight is. Let's see who he's fighting. Let's see all that good stuff. Okay, so Julius, this is RBS. He's 15-0 with 7 knockouts. 22 years old. Sugar Boy Roy wins his last knockout. He's coming off a UD win over Quartermain. His last knockout was 2024 against Andres Navarrete. knocked him out in the 5th. And before that, he had another knockout. So 2 knockouts about a year ago. Let's see Conor McIntosh. This is a 12-rounder. Wow. Shout out to the 22-year-old going 12 rounds. This is for the Commonwealth. This is a sneaky fight. Conor McIntosh. Conor got that old head. This is that young man versus that old head in terms of boxing age. You know, RBS is 22. Conor's 31. That's an old 31, boy. That is a hard 31, boy. That said, I got a full job at 31. I've had to juggle my full career as a Boilermaker, and I'm trying to make this boxing thing work. That's that 31. And respect to the game. Let's see. He's never been stopped. 10-2. He's gone 12 rounds once before. He's coming off a 12-round knockout win over Nathan Howes. You know, at the end of 2025, his one loss was, you know, a couple losses by decision. He got the long round experience, though. He's gone 12 multiple times. Let's check Royston Barney-Smith. How many times has he gone 12? Is this his first 12-rounder? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know if I like that. I see how it's an odds play, but I'm probably not going to play that. Only all things considered, I haven't taped it. I'll keep an asterisk by this fight, and shout out to Julius for putting it on my radar. Because at $1.06, the money line, I wasn't going to play this fight. To make money on this, you got to get sexy. My instinct actually would take points based off of the 10-year age gap, Conor being the older guy, grown man strength, having more 12-round experience. This is RBS's, you know, first fight going 12. But that's just off jump. That's just, you know, strictly off of Julius's comment. Let's move on. I appreciate that, though. Julius in the house, one of our local JSP insider sharps. Christian George says, "What's up, Johnny? You're going to be giving your yeah, UFC's coming. There's PFL on tomorrow. How egregious do we want to take this MMA, or are we shit? I picked Japanese domestic Monday night, Tuesday night boxing. I'm probably going to put together a PFL triple. There's some PFL on tomorrow. I have a couple friends who fight in the PFL. So, and I'm going to do a UFC. So you guys are at least going to get 2 more tickets, JSB Insiders. You got 6. You're going to at least get 2 more. So much for a slow week. What's up, Christos? Hey, Johnny. Good morning, brother. Good morning to you, too. Early thoughts on Nikita Tszyu versus Oscar Diaz, 16 out of Spain. Yeah, not this Oscar Diaz. We're definitely going to get into this. I'm going to do a Stats Don't Lie video on this. Guys, to mention that, this is the second week. So I didn't do a Stats Don't Lie video last week, and I didn't do one this week, and I got messages about it. They're coming back. I've been a bit burned out. Those Stats Don't Lie videos, the ones that are 10 to 15 minutes long, the edited breakdown videos where I do the analysis, I bring out my filming equipment. It takes a lot of creative energy because, you know, I do my film study, I write the script, I film it, I edit it, all that stuff, and then I create it. They're like small little mini movies, how you see it. You know, those take a long time. I've been kind of burned out because we've been on a roll since January, and I plan to take these 2 weeks off. So like earlier in the month on a live stream, I mentioned it. I said that there's going to be 2 weeks in April where you're not going to get any of the breakdown videos, but I'll be doing lives every day so you could ask me about them. We have so many big fights on the horizon in the next, I mean, it seems like forever, up until July, that they're coming back next week. So don't fret. They'll be back. Elisa Bumgarner decision comfortable. She ain't knocking anybody out. Nothing's ever comfortable, Jeezy. I'm never comfortable with any bet, by the way. So no. Am I playing AB by points? Yeah. Am I comfortable? No, I'm never comfortable. What's up, LBJ? Appreciate you. Okay, so you got Royston at plus money. Interesting. Do I think Gilley could get the knockout? I do. I think Sam Gilley knocks out Aston Brown. That's my. Let me show I'll show you the odds first. I broke this down yesterday on the live stream. You guys were asking about it. If you want to do it justice for my channel and help me grow like you guys always do, watch the live streams if you don't catch them live. There's like, I think, a 10 to 15-minute window where I break it down. I'll do a condensed version once again. I've been talking to a lot of people. I think we know the odds makers get these things wrong all the time. I think 100% they got these odds wrong. I'm taking Sam Gilley by knockout at plus 600 on one ticket, and I have Sam Gilley as my dog at close to plus 200. I think I don't even think Aston Brown is. Yeah, I'll show you why. Let's pull up the odds first. Okay, these are the odds. Once again, shout out to the chat who over the last few months have been pushing me to sign up for BoxRec. It's so much easier now to float back and forth from our odds to BoxRec. So we're looking at the odds now. Aston Brown, these odds really haven't shifted. They're actually slightly have gone down. Aston Brown's $1.53 on the money line. You put $100 on him to win, you get your money back plus $53. Sam Gilley is 270, so a plus 170, 100 on Sam to win, you get your money back plus $170. Brown by decision is plus 460. Brown by knockout, $1.98. The prop I like, the two bets I'm taking, I have Gilley on the money line as my dog of the week, and I have Gilley by knockout at plus 600 as my prop of the week. Let's take a look at their box recs, and we'll explain this a little bit more. And I'll talk about Aston Brown first. I'll talk about what I don't like about it. Let's talk about the odds first. Okay, here, I'll tell you why those odds are the way they are. Firstly, Aston Brown is undefeated, 9-0 with 4 knockouts. Sam Gilley is 18-2-1. Gilley's 2 losses are both on points. Gilley cut his teeth at 154. This fight is at 160. Gilley has fought at 160 before, though. So when you're thinking about algorithms, odds, you have one guy who's coming off of a loss, Sam Gilley, against Ishmael Davis, and he then had a draw at 160 against a really tough guy who's fought everybody, the who's who in British domestic boxing. It was a 6-rounder. And because of that, he hasn't had a win in 2 fights. He's fighting a guy who's 9-0, never lost. This is just on paper. Never lost. And Brown, his last 4 wins have come by knockout. So, and he's the A side, the fights in Scotland. So these are why you get whatever algorithm they use to compute these initial odds. They'll compute the odds. They'll release the opening line, and then as the money comes in on the fight, then the odds will shift throughout the week. And what we're seeing is over the week, the money is coming in on Sam Gilley. I actually thought more money will be coming in, but it's only Thursday, and probably since I made my picks public, I just made my knockout prop public 2 hours ago. I assume those odds are going to keep going down. Here's why I think they're wrong. Let's talk about experience first. Aston Brown is 35 years old. Sam Gilley is 30 or 31. In a 35-year-old professional fighter's career, he has only fought a total of 34 rounds. 34 rounds, 35 years old. Since 2018. So I'll stop it at the Daryl Sharp fight. So let me move my head. I'll remove my head. You guys don't need to see me. Okay, let me get this off the screen. All right. Since 2018, that Daryl Sharp fight, he won on points. That was 6 rounds. Do the math. Since 2018, he's fought a total of 6, 10, 15, 17, 18 rounds. He's fought 20 rounds in 8 years. That is absolutely insane. Okay? Let me bring my head up. It's better than that pop-up. Let's see who he's been fighting. Okay? Let's see who the big fella's been fighting. In 2025, he had 2 fights. He knocked out Paul Keane in the second, and he knocked out Reese Porter in the first. So in 2025, he fought a total of 3 rounds. Let's see who Paul Keane was fighting. Okay, Paul Keane, going into that fight, he had just beat a guy who was 0-9. So Paul Keane's fight before he gets the fight of his career against Aston Brown, he fought a guy and he won on points against a guy who was 0-9. Now let's look at his last fight. Let's look at the fight before that for Aston Brown. Aston Brown then fought a guy named Reese Porter. Let's see what Reese Porter was up to in his career. So when Reese Porter fought Aston Brown, he was coming off of a fight that he fought a guy who was 13-30. So you guys you see my point here. You see my point. The dude has fought nobody. He's the A side. He's Scottish. He spent 5 years in the clink for drug-related offenses. At 35 years old, this is his hands down his biggest step up. Sam Gilley is a good boxer, front foot guy, fought at the higher level, fought the better opposition, and he's never been stopped. And I feel the later this fight goes, I think Gilley will break him down, outbox him, frustrate him, just out-season him. And I really, at plus 600, the stoppage, dude, that's what I like. That's my prop, is Sam Gilley to stop him. So we will move. Let's see what the boys are saying. What about bare knuckle? I'm not getting anything on bare knuckle. I don't get those odds. What's up, Mervin? Boxing fan, Johnny JSB Insider's party going on Major League Channel show. Sign up. Let's see what he's talking about. Let's see the potty. We're going to show the Discord real quick. I want to see the party. And I want to check on the my NBA parlay real quick. Let's see what that scores are. I took Philly at home. They're up, barely up. They're up by 3. I took Philly at home. We'll see if they hang on. Even money. So this is our Discord. Let's check out the baseball channel. $10.45. Yeah, so boxing fans giving away free game. This is just posted. So hedge and cooking both ways. So guys, if you're an insider, you want to learn to bet on baseball, go to our baseball channel, hit up Boxing Fan. He's teaching free game in there as we speak. Let's check out the boxing channel real quick. Yeah, the boys are torn. The boys are torn on Gilley and Aston Brown. I understand why. If you're on Aston Brown, stick with it. Dig your boots in. I'm not trying to talk you out of your bets. Yeah, I think Ishmael Davis is decent too. So let's get back to the odds. And yeah, plus 600 isn't it's just this plus 600 Gilley knockout prop is just too crazy to pass up for me. Because obviously I love the money line action. That's my dog. But I don't see Aston Brown going the distance with Gilley. I think he gets stopped. So let's see what the rest of the boys are doing. Fresh BX, take your time, Johnny. Don't let these dudes. Oh no, nobody's burning me out, man. It's the game. The game, you know. I'm married to the game. I love boxing. It's a choice. You know, the game needs us. JSB, man. Johnny says boxing, our community. I could like, you know, because this is I run a full coaching business. So, you know, I've been up by the time I live stream at 10:30 a.m., I've already been up for 5 hours coaching and training. So I think it's just been a mix. I've been like pedal to the metal on both ends with my coaching business and my online business. So I've just been a little bit run down, you know, a little bit. I have booked in a vacation in August. So I just paid for my tickets. I'll be going on holiday in August, which is fine. Life is play, though. So I appreciate you thinking of me. May 2nd, anyway, Benavides, Kona Walker. Kona Walker's fighting my boy Sam Edgington. Don't sleep on my boy Sammy, dude. Sammy's long. You know, like long, height-wise, bigger dude. Kona Walker. They're both up there. Sammy boy's retired a couple times already. Good dude, man. I was at the when Sammy boy came to Sydney and he fought. I always forget this kid's name. Irish kid who came down to he moved when that one Remember that Irish, was it MTK or MKT Global fell apart due to corruption and gang activity? A bunch of these Irish boxers came to Australia. Dara Foley was one of them. And the kid who he fought out in Newcastle, red hair, he might have made it to world levels. He fought when Sam Edgington was the IBO world champ. After Sam, because Sam is the guy who retired Paulie Malignaggi. Sammy Boy has a win over Paulie, but Paulie was 102 years old then. So I'm not too quick to take Conor Walker in that fight. That's all I'm saying. Alicia Bumgarner decision. I like it. Nathaniel Collins by decision. I like it. I thought he won the first fight. I think he does a lot of things better than Lorente. Fresh BX. I was going to watch tape on Brown Gilley, but I can't find nothing on Brown. Going past those recent two. Yeah. And that's all anybody can find. So this is one of those plays where I'm leaning. All the facts are the facts about Aston Brown, what I told you. Watch the little couple rounds you're going to see. The couple rounds you're going to see, he went against some tins. I'm leaning on Sam Gilley. So my money is all on Sam from watching his career. Conor Attaway money line. Yeah, I'm not betting that fight. Attaway's fighting a guy, I think, who's like, what's Attaway? Attaway might be 10-2. He's fighting a kid who's 18-14. I glanced at these fights. Look, you don't have to, guys, you don't have to bet on every fight. I talk about this all the time. It is a fool's game to open our sports betting app up and see every fight and think that we have to play every fight. Sometimes the best bets are the ones we don't make, and sometimes your smartest bets are the fights you avoid. You know, a couple weeks ago, the whole chat played almost every week. I think where we're getting a thing that separates us from the rest in terms of our betting community is I've noticed a pattern over the last 3-4 weeks where a lot of people will bet certain fights, and there's been draws, there's been weird kind of decisions, and those fights haven't appeared on our tickets. And so that's an example of, some fights you have to avoid. You don't have to bet on every fight. Conor Attaway fight, I'm not betting on. There's a lot of like minus 2,000 fights I'm not betting on. If Gilley gets a stoppage, I'll take some of the profits. You don't have to, man. This is gonna sound super crazy. Jay Voorhees, you used to be an insider. Didn't you used to have a blue tick? But I don't want anybody to take this the wrong way. What I'm about to say here is just me further explaining my intentions on why I do what I do. I don't want anyone joining the Discord just because I won a ticket. I don't want anybody joining the Discord because we hit our bets. I built the Discord for a community. Join the Discord if you love boxing. Join the Discord if you want to be part of a group that you could break down fights and disagree and not have to worry about getting harassed online or trolled. Join the Discord if you want to be around like-minded, intelligent, high IQ fight fans. But don't join the Discord just because I win a bet. That's not why I do this. And but these are up to you. I just want you to know my intentions here. Johnny, do these guys have values to add to future slips? Takuma Inoue, Boacek. So I do have a future slip. Wow, you're picking tough. You're picking really tough ones because I can make an argument for each guy on opposite ends. Like none of these guys are on my future slip. I'll read you my future slip. You literally picked all the fights that I avoided on my future. So I call it a long-term parlay. You could call it a future. So I have a 9-legger that pays plus 500. And my future slip starts this week with Alicia Bumgarner. So I have Alicia Bumgarner, Naoya Inoue, David Benavidez, Philip Hrgovic, Keyshawn Davis, Hamza Shiraz, Stephanie Hahn, Oshaki Foster, and Abdullah Mason. Now, when I was putting that together, I saw these fights, but I left those fights off of it specifically for reasons, one reason or another. I'm going to break these fights down, but they're not on my long term. Blue collar, what's good? What's up, Johnny? Don't hate the play. I hate the game. Mayseki, David wins. Duarte, Resendo wins. I like Benavidez. It's really hard. All of these guys. It's really hard. The only one I'm torn on is Munguia. I like Jaime Munguia, man. I'm sorry. I like Munguia. I like the adjustments he made against Sriracha. He was boxing masterfully against Bruno until he got stopped. But then again, Armando looked great against Caleb. It's just hard for me to get past Resendez getting knocked out against Elijah Garcia at 160 pounds. This fight's at 168. Munguia is good, man. I mean, he's not what you're gonna get. Like, Munguia is. I think they're at the same level. You know what I mean? I think Resendez and Munguia is at the same level. I don't throw fighters away. I don't know. I've won a lot of money on Munguia in the past. I've lost money. I've lost money on both. You know, Resendez being a plus 900 against Caleb was absolutely insane. I don't know one person who could show me their ticket who picked Resendez to beat Caleb who had posted the ticket a week in advance. Guys, there's one thing with like, you know, bettors will be like, you know, the fight's about to start, they're chasing, they're looking at their books, or like, oh, this fighter's a plus 900. I might as well just throw $50 on him to see what happens. They don't know shit about the fight. And then he wins, and then they show the ticket like they spent a month of breaking film study down. They spent so that's not what I'm talking about. So Resendez is coming off the biggest win. I like Resendez's camp. You know, I like the work that he's putting in. I like this recent version of him. So I'm not saying I'm taking Jaime Munguia, but I wouldn't be so quick to take Resendez to beat him right now. I do like Benavidez, Duarte. Let's see what the odds are on Munguia. Wow. Good odds too. Wow. Resendez is plus 170. Resendez is the champion. If Munguia wins, he gets the belt. Didn't Resendez get elevated? Isn't Resendez a full champion? Yeah, he's a WBA champ. That's insane. He was elevated. He was elevated a full champion on January 26th after the title became vacant following Terrence Crawford's retirement. Resendez is scheduled to make his first defense of the WBA against Jaime Munguia May 2nd. Wow. And let's go back to those odds. I don't know where I stand yet. Give me some time. So, Johnny, you are with Nick later. Nick, no. Haven't talked to him this week. The UFC card, it doesn't excite me, Mike. So I'll usually only bring people on my platform and live stream with people if there's like fights or debates that excite me. I don't like forcing anything. Nick is my boy. I talked to him. I haven't talked to him this week. He's probably busy. But I don't like forcing things. So it's tough sometimes to make a concrete. The only thing concrete in my schedule with you boys are these Monday through Friday live streams. You know what I'm saying? You guys can guarantee you're going to see my live streams Monday through Friday, and you're guaranteed going to get my picks. But regarding streaming with other people, it really depends on the fight week. Like Paulie, and Tommy, we all, you know, we've streamed 3 times together. Paulie or Tommy more, but it's always like a fight card that has a lot of energy behind it. And with Nick as well, it's always like if I look at the UFC card and there's like fights I'm excited in, I'll hit him up, be like, bro, what are you doing? Let's get on a stream. I looked at the fights, the Canada card. The Canada card doesn't excite me. None of the fights do. There's 1 or 2 fights. Like the Mike Mallet fight is interesting with Gil, and then there's a girl fight that interests me. But other than that, there's not a lot that interests me. J4, he's never was in this but been watching. Okay, I could have swore I saw a blue tick by your name. Maybe I'm tripping. There's some Australian fights on the 23rd and 29th. Uh-huh. I'm not betting this weekend. Betting May 2nd. Do you think Nakatani goes the distance? Wow. Do I think Nakatani goes the distance? He's the one coming up in weight. He keeps his chin a little high. He needs, he's coming up. His last performance was, I think he could go the distance. I'd like to see what, anyway, high knockout to win ratio. I don't want to say he struggles with southpaws. Anyway, doesn't struggle with anybody. I don't know yet. Do these guys have value? Guys, wherever you are in the world, we're 30 minutes in. We're floating between 50. There's 51 in here now. Could you just like this video? Yeah, King pound for pound. The boys ain't showing me any love, man. I guess it's hard to like a video. And people, maybe you guys are a little bit sadistic. Maybe you like me asking. Some people are into like sadomasochism. They like pain. They like the depravity. So I'll show you pain. Could you please like my video? Well, maybe that'll bring it up. Cody, what's up, Cody Pollins, 4753. Hopefully you're okay with them Nikes. Got them Nikes kicking it. I saw Aston Brown had a good amateur career. Could he be another Navarrete? Looks like shit. Could he be another Navarrete, man? Navarrete has been a multi-division world champion, young buck since he was young. Aston Brown's 35 years old. He only has 34 pro rounds. So you're comparing what you see stylistically. I think you'd be selling that short. So could he be a guy with a weird, funky style who has gritty knockout power? At 35 years old, he better start being that now. With this is his 10th pro fight, never gone past the 6th round. I don't see it. I think my boy Sammy Boy stops him. Just win. We got to add B Norm to the future slip. Too late for me. I keep future slips when multi-top guys fight like Core, Key, Mason, Benavidez when they face B-level competition. Yeah. Almost always a W. What do you mean? Except GAR versus Hiroka. We won money. Gary beat Hiroka. Except, and Hiroko is not B level. Hiroko is world class. What do you mean? Except, I won money on Gary Antoine Russell. I think you're getting that convoluted with Frank Martin and Nahir Albright when that was a draw. But GAR beat Hiroka. I scored at 8-4. I had Alex Vargas winning. The fight's off. Yeah, I wasn't going to bet on that fight either. I don't like betting on fights that are like I feel forced to bet on. Alex Vargas is a guy that is retired before, or he doesn't live in the gym. People talked highly about him before, but it's tough to go full on in the sport. Not really an active guy. I wasn't going to bet on that fight for those reasons. So I'm actually not shocked that the fight got scrapped. You the man, bro. Manny Robles got better. Yeah, Manny Robles is a G. That's why, like, that's why I'd be leaning Resendez. No, that's why I'd be leaning Resendez. I like Manny Robles. I've been saying all along I wish that Tim Tszyu would have went to coach Manny Robles or Robert Garcia instead of Pedro Diaz. No shade on Pedro Diaz, but with what we see in a fighter at 30 years old in Tim Tszyu, you're not going to change much. So at this stage of the game, it's the old, you can't teach an old dog new tricks, but you could take that old dog and take what he does really well and try to improve upon that. You can't make Tim Tszyu a mover. You're never going to make Tim Tszyu a guy who's going to use the entire ring and outbox you. You want to take that aggressive Mexican style and you want to tweak it. You want to work a little bit more of the nuanced inside game. You want to work a little bit of that body game, those setups, those, working low and then coming up top with it. And I think Manny Robles and Coach Garcia does that really well. So that's always going to be a what if for me. Even if Tim Tszyu goes on another run and ends up becoming a world champion again, I will always sit back and think, damn, I wonder what that style would have looked like with Robert Garcia. Or I wonder what that style would have looked like with Manny Robles. Mar the Prince, we know you ain't new here. He's just doing the old re-up, my boy. Angela Leo. Guys, I don't know about this fight, man. Don't sleep on Reese Aleem. Reese Aleem could easily be undefeated. Reese Aleem, I know he's 35 years old now. Reese Aleem's only loss was a split decision loss to Sam Goodman. I was at that fight. Sammy Goodman is a hell of a boxer. And, Reese Aleem could box, dude. Angelo Leo got some pop. Angelo Leo's last performance, though, I'm not going to say it was a head scratcher. He still won. I've been with Leo since, his come up. I've been winning money on him when, he knocked out, the man who was the man. And, he had to kind of take time off due to brain contusions. Luis Alberto Lopez. And, watching him when he came to Japan. Pro box feature. So I'm an Angelo Leo guy, but let's pull these odds up, man. I would not bypass. I would not look past Reese Aleem, man. Reese Aleem could win rounds. Yeah, this is what I'm saying. Reese Aleem at plus 260, man. I like him here. I like him here. Because he's going to present Angelo Leo a different problem that Leo's going to have to solve. Aleem is not going to stand in the pocket in a phone booth and play who has the bigger dick contest with Angelo Leo. He's going to make him box. He's going to make him think. He's going to make him problem solve. He's going to use the entire ring, and he's going to make Angelo Leo work to win rounds. Now, granted, Aleem is the B side, plus 260 though. I don't know, man. I'm not jumping on this yet. Keep an eye on it. I wouldn't just throw Reese Aleem away like that. I think Nakatani and Picasso have a similar build, and sometimes Nakatani fights like Picasso at times. Aston Brown has muddy feet. He's big for the division and hits hard, but that's all I could give him. I don't even know if he hits hard, man. I don't even know if he hits hard. He hits hard against guys who don't box. He hits hard against guys who just stand there to get hit. We'll see. Look, guys, when I catch a knockout prop at plus 600, and you guys know me, it's not like I do. How often do you see me play a prop with those odds? A handful of times. I can say off jump 2 times, and we're 2 for 2. I played the Tiger Johnson to knock out Nico Flaz at plus 1,000. We hit on that. And we played Shushu Carrington 2 fights ago to win on points at plus 600. Now, other than that, it's not just so the newbies on the channel don't think that that's just a shot in the dark. I saw that knockout prop. I was like, I'm comfortable, dude. Plus 600, Sam to stop Aston Brown. I'm comfortable with this. I really think the odds makers have that wrong. He's saying he left out the JR fight because okay. Okay, yeah, hey, man, and Hiroka proved himself. Hiroka's a nightmare we knew that going in, and people are still, I think Gary Antoine Russell, there's certain fighters in each generation that no matter their skill set, the expectations are always so high for them. Like people, when you start your career 17-0 with 17 knockouts, and you have a storied amateur career, he has wins over Jaron Ennis in the amateurs, and he comes from a fighting family, little brother of Gary Russell, some of the fastest hands in boxing history. You're going to have these super high expectations, and people think that Gary Antoine Russell is just a guy who should be knocking people out. But Andy Hiroka is that dude too. And Andy Hiroka's size and length really troubled Gary. It didn't trouble him. I think it kind of gave Gary Antoine Russell a layer of problems that he wasn't expecting. But I still had him winning that 7-5, 8-4. And Hiroka beats almost everybody at 140. I would put Andy Hiroka in there with anybody at 140. I just want to say that right now. I love that he changed camps. I didn't get any news on which camp he chose, but he announced a month ago on his Instagram that he was leaving his long-term team in Japan. I don't know if he stayed in Japan. It'd be dope if he came to America. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe somebody could fill me in on that. But I remember watching Hiroka knockouts. Was it Jin Sasaki? That was Sasaki's only loss going into the Brian Norman Jr. fight. Parlay Collins, Ben Whittaker. Yes. Jerry Leva. I think that'll hit. What's up, Magic Kush, Joe Johnny? You think that any way to be knocked down and win probably loud against Nick? I'm taking it. You know me too well. You know me too well. We've hit it a couple times. We hit it. We hit it against Ramon Cardenas. I wish I would have. I didn't play it against Louis Neary, but it was in the Louis Neary film study going into the Inoue Ramon Cardenas fight that I was like, oh shit, Cardenas throws a hook in the pocket similar to Neary, and Naoya likes fighting there. The thing is, will Nakatani likes fighting at range and in the pocket. You got to think Nakatani is going to oblige Naoya Inoue. I think Inoue stops him. I think Inoue knocks him out. And if I were to say historically over the last few years, stylistically, I would say equal parts. I've been equally a fan of, because you got Nakatani, who's a Rudy coach. Is it Rudy Hernandez? Is a Rudy Hernandez guy. So he has that Mexican style. And I've been hearing about Nakatani for like a decade. One of my close mates, name drop, Kelly Pavlik, was telling me about Junto Nakatani a decade ago. So I've had my eyes on him, and long southpaw, aggressive. He could be, technically gifted, could crack. It's just really hard. Because they're both Japanese, because it's a super fight, because the pride of that country, the samurai blood flowing within their veins, I think the fight will happen here in close proximity, and I think that Inoue's speed. I'm not expecting Inoue's speed to degrade that much, and I think it's going to be one of those hooking with a hooker in the pocket in a phone booth, and I can see Inoue stopping him. We'll see. Damn, I can't wait for that fight. Damn, I can't wait for that fight. That fight puts a smile on my face. You're going to get a Stats Don't Lie video for that fight. It's tough for me to do a Stats Don't Lie video on Sam Gilley versus Aston Brown. No offense to the boys. Glad you introduced the long parlay. I've been doing that for a while since the Pandora fights, and great for Strat. Yeah, what's up, Bando boys? Shout out to my boy Tommy Ranon and Paulie Malignaggi. They've been trying to tell me to do these long-term parlays. Like every week, every fight weekend, we go into these fights, and my action is right in front of me. And talking to Tommy on WhatsApp, he'll have like tickets that'll, like last week when who was our last fight that we needed to hit? Last week seemed like it was 18 years ago. It was a gimme. It was a gimme. We hit everything last week. The ring card, the UK card, Tyson Fury. When he needed Tyson Fury on the money line on like tickets that he had started 2 months ago. And that's how it always is. And I'm like, you know what? I want some of that action. I'm gonna add one. I'm gonna listen to him and add one of those plays to my repertoire. Yeah, no, Justin, it was smart. And Justin, it's I think it was a close fight. You avoiding putting that fight on your ticket is what we were talking about earlier on how sometimes our best bets are the ones we don't make. You know what I mean? And so that takes a skill in itself, being able to sort of look at the work that we have. You lay it out in front of you, you see the options, and then it's like we have to then become like decipherers. We have to translate, we have to pick and choose. And that's a whole separate game. There's one thing with knowing, like, I know a handful of guys who know more about boxing, like old heads. Nobody will know everything about boxing, right? But I could list 2 or 3 guys that I know who older than me, who grew up. One of them was my old childhood coach, who could talk to me about boxing for hours, and I'll leave the conversation thinking like, holy shit, dude, this dude knows everything. But he's not a good bettor. He'll make some outrageous bets, and he loses a lot. Those being knowledgeable in boxing and being a good bettor those two aren't always mutually exclusive, and vice versa. There's a skill in learning the strategy and understanding sort of trajectory too of fights. Aleem, my guy, Sam Goodman beating him made me like him. Sam Goodman underrated. I think so too. All right, everybody's asking me about Takuma Inoue. Ooh, I don't know, man. Ioka. I've been winning money on Ioka. He's 37 now. Unbelievable. 32-4, 17 knockouts. He has his decision losses to Puma. Orders Gotti. Yeah, Takuma looked great in his last fight. And people were going to really probably fade Ioka due to how good Nasukawa looked. Yeah, I think it's time we start talking about tension. Dude, tension looked phenomenal. Tension in his fight this past weekend, that was his potential. That is why with only 7 pro fights, everybody, we know about his Hall of Fame kickboxing career. Everybody knows the legend of the kickboxer Tenshin Nasukawa. But he had yet to live up to those expectations in the ring. We just saw what he did in his last fight against El Gallo. He put it all together. And I think that even makes Takumi Inoue look even better. So, yeah, I like that bet. What are the odds? Yeah, you know what? If you like Takumi Inoue here, you should probably take him now. I'm not a big fan. I mean, it's only in 2 weeks. You got to assume that $1.49 is going to fall, right? You got to assume by that thing might be like $1.30 in a couple weeks. Benavidez is moving up in weight. Never fought this weight class. Am I missing something? Is he fighting a cruiser? Is he going up again? Oh shit! It's a fair point. It's a fair point. No one's talking about. It's his first fight at cruiser. Yard, Morrell, and Vosdick. Yard, Morrell, and Vosdick were at light heavy. We know he cut his teeth at super middle. Fights Vosdick, Morrell, and Yard at light heavy. Looked great in his last fight against Yard. Now he's fighting Zerto at cruiser. Well, shout out to David, man. Daring to be great. We'll see. We'll see if that power's there. We'll see. It's hard for me to bet against David Benavidez. I think that Zerto Ramirez is slow, sluggish. He does everything at one speed. But sometimes that style will break a guy down. I think I wouldn't worry about it. I think Benavidez is going to be fine there. I like Benavidez to beat Zerto. I don't even think that that'll be a close fight on the cards. Karen versus Patty. Who wins? I'm towards Karen. Chukachin? What am I missing? Hiroka flew in 2 days prior and still performed. True. Anyway, versus Nakatani is highly anticipated. A couple more weeks. It's coming, Jake. It's coming. Mar the Prince. Did you hear the plan to add Whitaker to Zayas Ennis? It's going to be a scene at the Barclays. What do we talk? Ben Whitaker? He's fighting this weekend. Well, that could. I mean, the Zayas Ennis card's in June. Maybe Ben Whitaker, David Morrell. No, I didn't avoid putting that fight on my tickets. I made money on JR that night too. I'll upload in the chat, but I was saying that fight is able. Yeah. Okay. It's tough. We need more screens. If you guys ever want to come on to chop it up, let me know. Mar the Prince, early lead for Fox. I like Shock here. I already have. I like Shock on points. Fight to go the distance. Shock on points. I think that this will be and I like Ray Savage. I like Ford. I think Ford is a guy. So sometimes in boxing, you have an exam. We know the classic one guy's trending this way, the other guy's trending this way. You know, the classic crossroads fight. Every now and then you get a fight like this. I think Shock Foster is at his complete peak right now. I think he is peaking right now in his career with everything. And I think Ray Ford is leveling up. I just don't think Ray Ford is at his peak yet. You could see even from like 3 fights ago, you could see Raymond Ford adding elements to his game. 2 fights ago, he started fighting more aggressively. He started picking up his offensive output. He started punching more. But I still don't think Raymond Ford is a finished product. So I think that style, a kid who's so talented and gifted as Raymond Ford, who's still developing to a sense, I don't think he's hit a ceiling against a polished, at his best Shock Foster. I think Shock is going to teach him some stuff in there. I could see an easy points decision win here for Shock Foster. Stephen Clark, not betting on that fight. Yuck. Guys, I'm not betting on every fight this weekend. I'm sorry, boys. You guys are savages. You gotta love our squad though, boy. The boys are out here eating. It's like Emma who just asked about Stephen King Ty. This comment reminds me of, this is how crazy my mind works. That Denzel Washington interview where he's like, I'm leaving here with something. Shit, I ain't come all this way. I'm from around the way. I'm leaving here with something. That's like, we out here trying. We gonna bet. We're betting on everything. I'm gonna get a win. We'll leave here with something. But I'm not betting on that fight. I'm from around the way. I'm leaving here with that Denzel bit is one of my favorites. Why? Why, King, would you bet on this fight? Why would you bet on this fight, mate? Don't bet on this fight. I got Benavidez by decision. I think so too. I love that play. Let's see what Benny on points is paying. $1.78. Nice little two. I already see what I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna take David Benavidez on points at $1.78. I'm gonna do a little prop. Who else is on this card? Oh, Mungia. I gotta wait till the rest of the card drops. Inoue. And maybe Inoue by knockout. Benny by points, Inoue by knockout, plus 261. That's not a lock. I'm not locking that in. We're just kind of brainstorming, looking ahead. Ford via pillow hand decision. I don't see that happening. I don't see Raymond Ford outboxing Shock. Everybody doubting Stephanie. Is everybody doubting? Not me. Stephanie. I don't. I got Stephanie Hahn. Stephanie Hahn made me a believer. We just saw this fight. I have Stephanie Hahn on my parlay. She was beating Holly pillar to post. Can you see an upset Rafferty and Esuman, Raf the favorite, or Anderson Dackers? I haven't looked at this yet, big fella. We'll get into it. Are you a wolf or a rooster? You know what? Good reference. Big Baby versus Dackers is a crossroad fight. Uh-huh. People have been asking about this fight. We might as well pull it up. Well, you got Bilal Fawaz, Ryan Kelly, Jack Rafferty, Echo Esimon. Wow, bro. Echo Esimon's a plus 190 here. Unbelievable. That's a good eye, whoever brought that up. I mean, I might take Echo there. It's so hard for me to invest in. This is. I don't know if this. I don't know, man. I don't know if I don't like betting on Jared Anderson fights, big baby Miller fights. I'll be doing. We'll see. Does Shane have a shot against Serhi, or you think it'll be another? Every time I think Serhi Boacek is done, he's not. Boacek looked good against Butiev. Boacek, I thought that style was done. I thought that Boacek would have been run down. We know he has a lot of miles on the clock. We know that style doesn't age well. But then he goes in against Butiev in a 50-50 fight, and he was the one who didn't fade. It was Butiev who was fading. And I was like, holy shit, dude. Boacek's not done. He looked good. He won a close split. I probably would have given Serhi the unanimous there. I think they judged it a split. I don't know, man. Shane Mosley, he's the bigger dude. Is that fight at 60? Jesus Ramos is a beast, though. Jesus Ramos is a bigger puncher than Boacek. Serhi punches, but he's more of a volume guy, death by 1,000 paper cuts, constantly in your face. I don't know if Shane will be able to deal with that pressure. I think and we really haven't seen Boacek be afraid of anyone's power. The dude's like a zombie in there. So you got to just ask yourself, if Shane doesn't have that power to make Boacek back up, will Shane be able to have the cardio and gas tank and formidability to be able to withstand just that stressful ass style? Let's see what the odds are. That's a fun fight to break down. Damn, you guys are savages, man. I literally live my life week to week. You guys are all up on it. Shane at plus 380. Value play? I mean, I can make you a case. I mean, at plus 380, he's the A side there. People are going to be sprinkling on Shane. People are definitely going to be sprinkling on Shane. I think that Boacek is at just a level above Shane. Who you got, Miller? I haven't thought about that one yet. I don't like the heavyweight division where it is right now. So, it's not like I stay up at night, licking my chops for a Jarrell Miller Paro fight. I don't think about these. We had to bet that. I was excited about Fraser Clark and Justice Hooney. Shout out to Big Fraze, man. Even though we won money on Hooney, Big Fraze looked good. I don't care what anybody says. He came in shape, looked good. He was stressing me the hell out. I thought he was about to ruin all my parlays. But Miller versus Pero doesn't excite me. Talk to me on fight week. I'll probably be excited about it then. You guys know how I am. After seeing Manny Chance's performance, bro, Floyd coaching. It's a great question. Emmanuel Chance fought on the undercard this past weekend. He fought he was Manny, 19. He fought a kid who was 20. And hats off to both guys. But it was Manny's first 6-rounder. And you could tell. You got to move guys properly. When he got that knockdown early on, he emptied the entire gas tank. He's fighting in his hometown. All of his people were there. New Jersey stand up. And there were in flashes. You see this 19-year-old kid in flashes. Yes, I think he's a future world champion. But when those flashes went out and you saw the greenness in his ability to carry his gas tank, manage his emotions, clinch up, how amateur, granted he's a young pro, this isn't supposed to be a pun, how amateur he looked when he was trying to clinch. He was doing the cardinal sin of what not to do when you're trying to clinch, and that's go long arm, straight arm. You could just tell maybe he's not sparring with guys. He needs to get beaten up in sparring. At 19 years old, he has all the skills and all the potential. You could see it in flashes, the hand speed, the combination work, and his mental was still there. It was just, he has to work on, when we have an emotional dump, when we have that adrenaline dump, everything's just emptied. And then you mix that with him being a teenager and not having the experience of how to deal with that, he'll take a lot from that. I think the fight should have been a draw. I didn't bet on the fight. They gave it to Manny. I had Manny winning the, he had the knockdown in the first and second round, and then shit changed in the third. I think the holes in Manny's game you could definitely work on. You can work on your gas tank. You can work on your engine. You can work on handling the stress. I would put him in a gym. I don't know who he's sparring with. I would put him in with guys to where he's getting his ass beat. You need that. You need to get beat up in sparring at a young age to understand how to deal with adversity. What I saw a kid was a guy who was always the hammer, and he's lucky to get that win. I don't like calling any 19-year-old a future champion. Is the potential there? 100%. You'd be ill-advised to call him a fraud. That, give the kid a break. When he was cooking, he was cooking. Han is the police. Yeah, we saw Han. Guys, I lost money on Steph, her last fight. I'm the punk ass who picked Jesus. Stephanie Han versus I was at her fight when she head kicked Ronda Rousey. Yeah, so I'm taking Han in this fight. I don't know anybody who's taken the. You guys know people are saying Stephanie Han's going to lose to old girl. Belichick will brutalize Mosley. I agree. How you feel about it anyway versus Nakatani? Prop, will there be a knockdown? Yes, two leg with Benavidez. Ooh, look at Just went out here getting scientific. My man, that's like a chemistry equation. Where I feel like we're in a chemistry lab right now with like a flask and a beaker, and we're like measuring things and we're testing things. And go give me the graduated cylinder. We got the graduated cylinder. We're weighing things. That's what. But I agree. I like it. I don't know if I would. Let's see if we get. We're probably not getting the knockout props yet. But traditionally, if I'm getting a prop that's over 300 plus 300 plus 400, I don't usually pair that with anything else. But you might be onto something. This fight is in 2 weeks, boys. 3 weeks. This fight isn't. No, it's in 2 weeks. Oh yeah, plus 340. Anyway, that's crazy because we got him against. I got him at plus. He was a 14-1. The Ramon Cardenas knockdown paid me 14-1. This is only 3-1, closer to 4-1. He was part of Shakur's camp, but left recently. Maybe he's due for a return. Yeah, that's how I know about Manny Chance. I've known about Manny Chance for 5 years from my boxing channel. So people have I've had my eyes on Manny Chance since he was like 15, 14 years old. He's good, man. He's good. I don't at 19 he's good. He's good. In our Discord when that fight was going on, there were a couple guys who were kind of like debating me on my comment, and I said that Manny Chance is going to take away a lot of lessons from this fight. And there were a couple guys pushing back, like, no, he's not. The only lesson he would take is if he would have lost. I was like, I disagree, man. I was like, the lessons Manny has taken away from that performance are every fighter should be taking away a lot of lessons from every fight, except if you're starching guys in the first round. You're not really learning anything then. But you put a 19-year-old kid in his first 6-rounder and a dog out, drag him out back and forth barn burner in a fight which he thought he won by knockout, and then he had to dig deep because he had an adrenaline dump, and he still barely hangs on by the skin of his teeth to win a split. Come on, dude. Those lessons he learned there are going to be plentiful. So I'm excited to see Manny again. Every time Manny fights, I watch. What's up, Johnny? I know this is a hardcore fight, but what do you think about David Jimenez versus Emu Sano? I have to check the odds. Let me see if we're getting them. I think it was on my books. Yeah. they took it off. They took this fight off. I think this fight got scratched because it was on my books, and a lot of fights got scratched this week. I think this one was one of them. Sunday, April 19th. Yeah, that fight's off. The whole card got scratched. That I think that was the Kyrgyzstan card with, and I had my eyes on it. That fight got scratched. The main event with wasn't it Luis Nery and Casemiro? That's that card. It's all done, guys. I got to roll. I got to wrap it up. Like this video. We got a lot to get into. I'll be streaming tomorrow as well. Let's get this money. You guys have 6 tickets right now in the Discord, in our Patreon, and on YouTube. Stay tuned. Keep your eyes peeled. I'm going to be posting at least 2 more tickets before the fights start. Hit the notification button on YouTube. I guess allegedly when I post something, it lets you know. Either way, you guys are the best. I have so much gratitude for the JSB community. This is something that's been grassroots since we started it. We are growing. We're approaching 500 VIPs. And I will stand on this next statement. I don't think there's a more educated, more well-researched community in boxing, online boxing, than our community. And it's all because of you guys. So stay tuned. Let's get after this. And good luck to everybody with their bets.